Said rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs.
So the topic, back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate. Today we are doing the top 100 movies of all time according to IMDb. And we are determining what is the greatest film of all time through a bracket. So he'll tell you about social media where you can find it, and then we'll get into this video. Also, disclaimer, for some reason IMDb says everything that happened after 2009, so 2010 is up. For some reason didn't make the list. Don't know why, but we'll do that list on another day.
If you scroll down to the description box below, pop it open, you'll find links to our social media accounts. So click on those, give us a follow. We also have links to our coffee account and our Patreon account. If you would like some cool bonus content, if you feel like helping our channel out financially, check those out. We also have the thanks button right here on the YouTube page. If you're not going to do any of those things, then subscribe because it's free. You still get to help us out. First up, we have The Godfather versus Yankee Doodle Dandy.
So, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the corners. This is their second greatest movie of all time on IMDb, Godfather.
Oh, okay.
Surprised it's not number one personally, but
I'm assuming Kane was, or
no, Shawshank was.
Oh, yeah, that's the other go-to.
This is a layup, though.
Yeah,
Yankee
this is
Doodle Dandy.
yeah, absolutely not. All right, next up we have Jurassic Park versus The Green Mile.
You know what movie I cannot stand?
Is it The Green Mile?
Yeah, that movie's whack.
Yeah, Green Mile is actually a little cheesy, if you ask me.
It's so fucking corny.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it's not Jurassic Park, which is potentially my favorite movie of all time.
You know what Lil Wayne said?
What did he say?
He said when he opens up his trunk, there will be Jurassic Park. And he ain't talking about no Blu-rays, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba.
Shoot up! Clockwork Orange versus Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves. This is probably the most even matchup so far for me personally.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves, masterpiece for what it is. Great filmmaking, entertainment, a little lacking. Clockwork Orange, phenomenal filmmaking. Not for everybody. So they both have big disadvantages. But for me, Clockwork Orange is top 25 favorite movies of all time. So I have to go Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Personally.
I'm sure that at some point we'll be playing rock, paper, scissors over A Clockwork Orange, but I don't care about arguing with you about it over Dances with Wolves.
Oh, speaking of that, you want to do rock, paper, scissors for $20 for the Coke now? I get $20 if I win. If you win, I cut the Coke now. Never grows back. I need it for a review, so it has to be on a different video when we cut it.
Okay, we can do that at some point.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
Best 2 out of 3, though, obviously.
Pulp Fiction versus Dr. Zhivago, which we referenced in a rap lyrics video, and you had never even heard of this movie.
Heard of it.
So, and I know we both love Pulp Fiction a ton, so I feel like this is probably a layup.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. I'll save that line for this movie. What is this movie?
Taxi Driver versus From Here to Eternity.
Never seen From Here to Eternity, so I have to go Taxi Driver.
Yeah, same.
That's how I felt about some of these movies. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Like, you're telling me that fucking Moonlight is not better than Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the biggest Moonlight fan, but there are 2010 movies that aren't as good or better than Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Well, we've never seen it, so for all we know, that movie is incredible.
I saw the poster and that shit looked whack as fuck.
Good. We got 2 war movies. We got Apocalypse Now and All Quiet on the Western Front.
Haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front, but that looks like John Belushi. He looks like a Belushi, and that makes me laugh. That movie's probably not laughable, though. Apocalypse Now. You watch YouTube videos about movies before. If you're watching us, you know about Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Oh, if you made it to our channel, you've definitely seen plenty of other YouTube content about movies.
Or you know some real life.
I've seen All Quiet on the Western Front probably 15 years ago. I don't remember that much about it. I was not as mature in my film appreciation life as I was then, so I thought it was boring. Probably should revisit it, but Apocalypse Now is Apocalypse Now, so I feel like that's...
Was it all quiet when you saw it?
I don't know. But we live on the East Coast, so I don't know anything about that Western front. Wuthering Heights versus Titanic.
Titanic. It has boobs in it.
That makes me want to rock, paper, scissors you over it, but fine. Mutiny on the Bounty or a West Side Story?
I don't think Mutiny on the Bounty has any X-Men in it, so I'm going to go West Side Story.
Well, this West Side Story also does not have... Did you say X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Mutiny.
one also does not have X-Men in it.
Nightcrawler, Gambit, Magneto.
Yeah, the OG West Side Story is an absolutely incredible film. To me, it is a 10 out of 10. Absolutely taking that. Close Encounters of the Third Kind versus The Great Dictator. That's an interesting one.
Probably the best matchup yet so far.
Yeah.
Most even.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know, Great Dictator is probably better looked upon than Close Encounters. I'm a Spielberg guy, so...
I disagree with Great Dictator being looked on. I mean, like, Great Dictator gets attention for, like, that one big speech scene, obviously. But, like, Close Encounters is an incredible movie.
Yeah, but... yeah, you know what? Because how old it is, I guess, like, your point's a bit more fair. Because lots of people seen Great Dictator, probably. I'm a Spielberg guy.
Me too.
Sorry, Chaplin.
All right, Patton versus A Place in the Sun.
I've seen neither of these movies, but I've seen Homeboy stand behind that flag 10 times, and they recreated that scene in Small Soldiers. Patton it is. I own the Blu-ray of that, so I probably should see it. It's on Steelbook.
All right. I can't read that.
Terms of Endearment, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it is. Jaws versus Terms of Endearment.
Have you ever seen Steph Curry at the three-point line?
Yes.
It's pretty easy watching him do it.
Yeah.
This looks pretty easy to me.
Yeah. Jaws is pretty dang good. All right. 2001: A Space Odyssey versus The Giant of Them All.
Kubrick for me.
Yeah.
That's what the young people on TikTok say. Follow us on TikTok if you haven't already. They say it's the blank for me, but it's the Kubrick for me this time.
Braveheart. That's an interesting matchup. Braveheart versus Gladiator.
The poster's almost the same. I think everyone thinks Gladiator is a better movie.
Yeah, I think so too. And I have seen both of these and remember them quite well. I think Gladiator is the better movie. Godfather Part 2 versus Platoon.
I haven't seen Platoon, but I've spit in a Splatoon.
Spittoon?
Yeah.
Have you ever played Splatoon?
No, I don't play video games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Godfather seems like the easy answer here.
Making this list, there's a lot of classics I haven't seen. I
Ooh,
realize that.
yeah, this one's good too. Rain Man versus Chinatown. You ever seen Chinatown?
Yeah, cuss that fucker in the nose.
Yeah.
Roman Polanski's not a great dude. And
That's
also
true.
like Rain Man a lot.
Yeah.
So is Rain Man. What are you thinking? You popped pretty hard for Chinatown.
Well, I was just excited to see it because, like, obviously you don't hear people talk about these older, like, excellent movies much. So when I get reminded of one, I get excited.
Nicholson's great.
Yeah, I still agree. I do think that Rain Man is the better of the two. Fargo
This is a great one.
versus The Deer Hunter.
Because you got more of your message in film, your art. Goddamn 4th of July. You get your art versus your great filmmaking still.
Yeah.
But it's like weighs heavy on entertainment with Fargo. So this is a very interesting choice for me.
Yeah.
You know.
To me, this is easy for me. Fargo's the answer for me. I think it's better made film. It's more interesting. I really like the Coen brothers.
What do you mean by interesting?
What do you mean? What I mean by interesting?
Like, have you like? Obviously, The Deer Hunter is one of like the most well recognized war movies, and how like realistic it is. That doesn't come off as interesting.
No, I have seen other very realistic war movies.
But it's more about the human.
I have seen one like Minnesotan crime drama.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Steve Buscemi's jacket wins it for me.
Yeah? You're going Fargo?
That's a really good jacket.
It is a good jacket. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid versus 12 Angry Men. I've been told that I need to watch Butch Cassidy like probably 20 times by him. I own it. Still haven't done it because he thinks that I would love it, and he knows my film taste really well, so I probably will. And 12 Angry Men is also a fucking incredible movie.
12 Angry Men is almost perfect. I gotta go 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, I gotta leave that one to you because I haven't seen. Bonnie and Clyde versus The Graduate.
That, like, 12 Angry Men versus Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, it's like, I feel like that episode of King of the Hill when he looks at Bobby and he's like, damn, my son sucks, but Connie knows how to play bluegrass, so he's bonding with Connie more. That's kind of how I feel. But you gotta side with your son like Hank Hill did. So, 12 Angry Men. I don't know what you said, I'm sorry.
Bonnie and Clyde versus The Graduate.
Both, because like 70s movies changed the game for like what film was allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Bonnie and Clyde has Gene Wilder in it.
That's true.
The Graduate has MILFs in it.
Yeah.
Where are you thinking? Where are you at? Minus your apartment.
I'm not real big on The Graduate, personally.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's just another one of those things where I fell victim to technology in that I have seen, Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. And that end scene so many times on the internet that, like, I don't know if I want to say overhyped is the right word, but it's like experiencing it during the movie was kind of taken away from me, I guess. So I didn't find the movie, this is a good movie, but oh shit.
Attaboy.
Fixed it.
I'm going Graduate. I guess we gotta get this rock, paper, scissors, and...
I've never seen Bonnie and the Clyde. You never Graduate.
Oh. You haven't seen Bonnie and Clyde?
Nope.
It was really good. It got Gene Hackman in it.
Ah, that sucks because I love that movie. But
Really?
yeah.
Sunset Boulevard sucks,
No
dude.
shot. I love
that movie
Sunset
is
Boulevard.
so trash.
No, it's not.
That is the most... that should have been my most overrated movie of all time. But I try to stick to like movies people have actually seen.
I love Sunset Boulevard.
That movie,
but it's definitely
hate
not
that
better
movie.
than Rear Window. We don't
Like,
even have to talk about
You
it.
know how angry I was talking about fucking Edward Scissorhands?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that movie on that level. It's personal.
All right, Ben-Hur versus The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
It's the good and bad. Like, I don't want to sit over 3 hours watching Ben-Hur for a fucking chariot race.
Silence of the Lambs versus The Wizard of Oz. I'll be honest. I love The Wizard of Oz. I feel like the only reason it's on this list is because of like the advancements it made in film in terms of color, in terms of all that stuff. Like, I think Silence of the Lambs is definitely the better movie. I do love The Wizard of Oz. Piles of nostalgia attached to The Wizard of Oz. But
I want to argue now. My pick is Silence of the Lambs. However, this is the greatest movies of all time.
Mhm.
And that The Wizard of Oz doesn't advance is like, what the fuck's the point? Because we're like realistically doing a non-biased top 10 of all time. 9 or 10. Wizard of Oz has to be on the list. I feel like personally,
do you really feel like The Wizard of Oz is one of the greatest movies of all time?
it's an essential movie to cinema. Yes.
But that doesn't make it one of the greatest. The most essential movies to cinema is different than the greatest movies of all time.
Well, I feel that essential also plays a huge part in that. That's 50% of what makes a movie fantastic.
I disagree. Like, a movie can exist on its own without it having to have cemented this like place.
I don't know, man. I do think like Silence of the Lambs is a better movie, though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to give something points just because like it did something new, which is great. But also, a lot of really bad films have done something new. Like the Wizard of Oz is one of the most important films in history, but that doesn't make it one of the greatest films in history. All right, To Kill a Mockingbird. I can't read that.
Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy. There you
This is kind of where I'm at with the last one, but on a much lower scale. Midnight Cowboy is the movie I would pick to watch. It's the one I think is a better made movie. But To Kill a Mockingbird is like essential. It's great. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Greatest films of all time, I guess. This one I feel less strongly about than the last one. So I think you have to give it To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. Well, I think To Kill a Mockingbird is also a better movie.
Have you seen Midnight Cowboy?
Yeah, it's been a minute, but I've seen it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're recreating Seinfeld. Points for that.
The nice young John Voight.
Ooh, ooh.
All right, Psycho versus Raiders of the Lost Ark. Listen, I don't want to disrespect Psycho, but this is one of the easiest picks all day for me.
It is, but
yeah, Psycho's great. We can acknowledge that Psycho's great. Psycho deserves to be on this list. It is not better than Raiders of the Lost Ark.
that's a heavyweight bout.
Yeah, it is. But that's like, reigning champ versus like the number 5 contender who got to take the fight because numbers 1 through 4 got injured or something.
All right, now you're being disrespectful.
Lord of the Rings, is that Fellowship? No, that's Return of the King.
That's the Oscar one, probably.
Yeah, it is. It should have been. Like, that should be the one that's on the list. So, Return of the King versus Forrest Gump. I'm Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump.
I think the argument I made for Wizard of Oz applies to Forrest Gump, and I will go Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, absolutely incredible. Again, they did a lot of really cool stuff. The amount of practical things that is in that movie is insane. Forrest Gump is a little bit better. A little bit better. Amadeus versus the Grapes of Wrath.
Are they green grapes?
I would imagine the Grapes of Wrath are pretty sour.
Fuck heavy with sour grapes. Never seen the Grapes of Wrath, though. I love Amadeus.
I've read the book.
Recently watched Amadeus. It blew me away.
Yeah, well, then I'll go with you because I haven't seen either of these. I've just read the book Grapes of Wrath.
I really like period pieces.
Yeah.
These got men wearing powders and wigs and stuff, and that's not my cup of tea. Strange Wang, he usually does not like movies like that, but that movie, whew.
Yeah. Some Like It Hot versus The Apartment.
Damn, Jack Lemmon fighting himself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen either of these movies?
I saw The Apartment a very long time ago.
Damn, dog, you a nematode.
But
this is a very good matchup. Personally, I like The Apartment more. That dark humor just works for me. And both very funny movies.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I haven't seen Some Like It Hot, so... Alright, The Sound of Music versus Star Wars.
But The Apartment is so good.
Yeah, I remember it being very good.
Okay, well, you didn't say that. You was like, I watched it a long time ago. And I was like, you should have watched that like last 6 months. Buddy.
Alright, Sound of Music versus Star Wars.
I don't care.
Okay. No explanation needed if you know anything.
Because there's a lot of movies to come. And if I'm an asshole and I try to play rock, paper, scissors right then, it's going to bite me in the ass later.
Yeah, alright. Listen, for the sake of like adding a conversation to the pick, Sound of Music is great. I love the songs in it. It is incredibly long, and therefore it has a lot of downtime in it, in between the parts that matter. Although I do, and always will, absolutely love those nuns saying, "Forgive me, mother, for we have sinned." What is the sin you've committed, my child? And they pull out the fucking car parts to the Nazis' cars. Love that so much. Streetcar Named Desire.
Unforgiven.
Versus Unforgiven.
This is hard because like both films are good for what they are. Both, I'm assuming Streetcar had some awards. I mean, with Marlo Brando's acting. The legacy for Streetcar is way bigger than Unforgiven.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what does it for me.
Yeah. Personally, I'd rather watch Unforgiven. Personally. I'm a Western guy. But you gotta give the Streetcar, I feel like.
I feel like Westerns get too much of a pass sometimes just because of like how popular they were at one time.
That movie was made and the westerns were not popular. That's old Clint Eastwood.
I guarantee you that is not true. But
the 90s?
we can look
Late
at that
90s?
later. Let's go. We will go look later at how many westerns got made around the
90s.
same time that came out.
Okay.
Stagecoach versus the Bridge on the River Kwai. I have seen the Bridge on the River Kwai.
Does it got Obi-Wan Kenobi in it?
It is incredible. It is very good. I have never seen Stagecoach. I don't know a thing about it.
Stagecoach, the western, obviously. A very good western. Neither of these are going to make it to the finals.
Okay.
So, you go Bridge of River Kwai.
Good Will Hunting versus The French Connection.
What an odd fucking matchup. Which one would I rather watch? Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Both excellent movies.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly. Good Will Hunting's like probably one of my top 10 favorite movies. All right. Citizen Kane
Shit.
versus High Noon.
High Noon, underrated film. Such a good fucking movie. Steph Curry at the threes, automatic. Citizen Kane next round.
Yeah. Maybe. There it goes.
Funny enough, Citizen Kane not in the top 4.
The Best Years of Our Lives versus Raging Bull.
But Raging Bull was in the top 4. That's the 4th. Raging Bull.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'm giving you the best years of my life right now. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now.
All right. I will easily concede this one as much as I love Jurassic Park, but it's The Godfather versus Jurassic Park. I mean, are you going to make an argument for Jurassic Park over The Godfather?
I thought you was going to give me a little pullback.
No, I can be objective.
All right. Word.
Look, I have watched Jurassic Park probably like
75 times.
6 times more than I have or ever will watch The Godfather. It is infinitely more rewatchable and more fun, but The Godfather is the better movie. That sucks. All right, Clockwork Orange versus Pulp Fiction.
You know what's on my shirt right now?
Black.
Kill Bill.
Oh, is it?
Tarantino.
Yeah. Also, Pulp Fiction is just a better movie than Clockwork Orange. I can't stand it. Clockwork Orange. See, I think Clockwork Orange is probably like the closest thing to Sunset Boulevard for you, for me on this list. Wildly overrated. Taxi Driver versus Apocalypse Now.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
I have a greater respect for Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
But knowing Scorsese's reason in making Taxi Driver just always makes that film more interesting. And as someone who writes, it makes it so it's very inspiring. Oddly enough to say that Taxi Driver is inspiring for something, but
Titanic versus West Side Story.
I'll let you have this one.
That is absolutely West Side Story.
I must have absolutely. Close Encounters.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Jaws.
Yeah, also take that.
What a fucking matchup, though.
Is it? Jaws is like a perfect, and if not perfect, incredibly close to perfect movie. Space Odyssey, very experimental, very beautiful.
Technology.
Okay, what about technology?
Like, it's Jaws, but, like, I think you are disrespecting it. This is such a good matchup. This is like Pacquiao and Mayweather. 2 very different styles, but easily the 2 best around their time.
That would be like
around their time.
Jaws versus like Indiana Jones.
All right, sure, whatever.
Or
but two like big names.
All right, Gladiator versus Godfather Part 2. Again, pretty easy. Fargo versus Rain Man.
Rain Man for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I love Fargo. Fargo's more interesting to me, but Rain Man is an incredible movie. 12 Angry Men versus The Graduate.
Bobby Hill, we're going again.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah, me too. Rear Window versus The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
The greatest Western of all time, Don't At Me, versus one of the greatest movies of all time, Rear Window.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I am just not as I love Westerns, but clearly not as much as you do.
Making me pick my favorite children here. Good and bad, easily one of the greats, the goats.
Silence of the Lambs versus To Kill a Mockingbird.
I like lambs more than mockingbirds. Bad joke.
Yeah, what an odd comparison. I mean, I love To Kill a Mockingbird, but I think Silence of the Lambs was a better movie.
Ditto.
Raiders of the Lost Ark versus Forrest Gump.
Great matchup.
Yeah, that is a great matchup. I mean, you got Spielberg versus Spielberg Light.
We're only in the second category on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders.
Yeah, agreed.
That's already getting hard.
Amadeus versus The Apartment. I mean, you got this one.
Amadeus.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate.
Star Wars versus A Streetcar Named Desire. Are you going to argue with me over a movie you haven't seen?
I've seen Streetcar Named Desire.
Well, you acted like you'd never seen Streetcar Named Desire.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it once.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things you had to do for film class.
Oh, okay.
But
That's the Stella one, right?
I give you Star Wars, I guess.
Thank you. It probably won't make it past the next round, so that's fine.
That's why I was like, Nearly's going to win.
Yeah. All right. Bridge on the River Kwai versus Good Will Hunting.
This is hard because if the Bridge on the River Kwai had a scene about somebody's wife farting
in their sleep.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah. Also, I mean, nobody asking about,
So let you.
you know, does anyone ask someone else if they like apples?
You like apples? How about them apples?
Kane versus Raging Bull.
We're about to see. I would assume this is an upset because it's in the top 4, but Kane.
Yeah, I agree. I actually really enjoy Raging Bull. And I don't want to jump on the whole, like, Citizen Kane is the greatest movie of all time, because I do think that there's a lot more subjectivity to that. But Citizen Kane really is, in fact, an incredible movie.
A lot in common with Raging Bull, like similar character arcs.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
This one kind of hurts. The Godfather versus Pulp Fiction.
When you're an adult, when you're in college.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah, this is true. West Side Story versus Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jaws.
Yeah.
That Spielberg matchup, son.
Spielberg can beat himself. I'm okay with that. Godfather Part 2 versus Rain Man. 12 Angry Men versus Rear Window. Ooh.
You're not going... Bobby, you gotta say behind...
You're abandoning your son?
Yes.
I've abandoned my son.
Rear Window.
Name that movie.
Abandoning my son. It kind of sounded like a Gene Hackman line or a Sean Connery line.
No.
I don't know.
It's a Daniel Day-Lewis line.
Surprised that movie's not on here. With
I drink your milkshake.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, I own it. I've owned it for years.
Silence of the Lambs versus Raiders.
Raiders.
Yup.
Neither of these gonna make it.
It's true.
You can have Star Wars. Kane.
Yeah. Like, Good Will Hunting holds an incredible... Like, in terms of, like, emotional movies, I love Good Will Hunting. Citizen Kane is a better movie.
Good run.
Yeah, good run. All right, Godfather versus Taxi Driver.
Godfather.
Yup. Jaws versus The Godfather Part 2.
His least favorite not least, but he's not the fan of 70s filmmaking.
I like if you took like the top 30 movies from the 70s, I probably adore 25 of them, but then outside of that, I'm just like, ugh.
Last four in the 70s. Greatest decade of all time. Jaws.
Yeah, I'm only gonna take Jaws just because I know that we both like Godfather Part 1 more than Godfather Part 2, and everyone else on the internet disagrees with that. So
Jaws is a perfect film. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Screw you guys. Take a Jaws. Rear Window versus Raiders. Are you going to bust it out now? Raiders is a better movie than Rear Window. Like, I will... Like, if you want to say and have a debate about that, we can. Or we could just play rock, paper, scissors.
No, the debate's gonna go nowhere. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. God damn it.
I gotta make sure we're still recording. Okay.
I truly believe that
I'm not
Rear
gonna-
Window is a perfect film.
And so is Raiders. But one has to be more perfect than the other in this game. So,
If we'll do that list one day.
yeah, I'm definitely not going to argue Citizen Kane over Star Wars.
We'll do that list of like non-biased top 5, 10, whatever the fuck greatest movies of all time. Perfect movies.
Okay, well, here's 2 perfect movies. Godfather Part 1 versus Jaws.
Can I get a timeout?
I'm leaning Godfather, but I'm not, like, committed to it.
I'm leaving Jaws.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with
I
Jaws.
think Jaws is a better movie than The Godfather, only because there's like a myth of The Godfather. You know what I'm saying? And people just assume it's that good. Like a lot of people never seen Jordan play.
But
They're
The
just like,
Godfather
he's the
is that
greatest.
good.
But like some of the people that say Godfather's that good, it's like there's no way you watched The Godfather.
You don't think that people think the same thing about Jaws?
I think more people seen Jaws.
I don't think more people have seen Jaws than have seen The Godfather. Now I'm rock paper scissors. Now I'm doing it because I disagree with that.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Not my day.
Oh, you'll probably just destroy it on the other side of the bracket.
Kane.
Yeah, love Raiders. Citizen Kane is technically a better movie.
Kane.
Is that just because he lost?
It's not because I lost. Citizen Kane would have beat Jaws.
All right.
You clicked it, but like,
Yeah, I'm down.
say what you.
That's just a toss up for me.
Pick
So I
'em.
mean, yeah.
Depending on what's on this side of the bracket, this is number 1 right here, Shawshank.
All right. Yeah.
And
Next
to me-
side. We're on the next side of the bracket. Shawshank Redemption versus American Graffiti.
Shawshank,
That is
top 20 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. All right. E.T., which you
I hate E.T.
detest,
versus Nashville.
versus Nashville. I still say E.T.
Yeah, I mean, it's a non-biased list.
Yeah. I mean,
Except for Sunset Boulevard, that movie can suck toes, boy.
all right. Rocky versus Double Indemnity.
Rocky.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one. My Fair Lady
Who?
versus An American in Paris.
Who? I'm just kidding. I've heard of both these films. I've just never seen them. I don't care.
yeah.
They're not going to win.
I'll take My Fair Lady over American Paris.
Why? Because she's fair?
Yeah, she is very fair. All right. The Exorcist versus The Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Never seen The Exorcist, but
Oh, really?
very well known.
Hmm.
I'm a pussy. I'm scared to watch horror movies. Very well known. Very iconic. Bogarts has so many better movies
Yeah,
that it's slept on.
that's my thing.
But I would personally pick Bogey.
I don't think either of these are going to make it to the finals, so sure. The Philadelphia Story versus Gone with the Wind.
Heavyweight matchup.
Yeah.
I'm a Philly guy.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind has a lot of really, really boring parts in it. Philadelphia Story is absolutely hilarious and has a really good story. So,
I got a really good story too.
Philly it is.
I was watching the Philadelphia Story with a chick. She said she didn't like it. I came quick.
Good for you.
No enjoyment for you.
The Third Man versus City Lights.
I haven't seen every movie of all time. I'm sorry. You pick.
Between these two,
I know you've seen Third Man.
I've seen a lot of clips from City Lights. It's really fun. I appreciate what they did. Every time I see that video pop up on Instagram that shows how they used forced perspective to make it look like homie was like balancing on skyscrapers and shit, it's incredible that they came up with that. Third Man is like one of my favorite like suspense movies of all time. I mean,
Heavyweight matchup.
On the Waterfront versus Casablanca.
So what's the
What do you mean? What's the
There's no about it.
Casablanca, right?
You give it its respects and you pick the right choice.
I'm down with that.
Marlon Brando, good job. Casablanca wins.
I was mostly pausing to see if you had something to say about it. The Pianist versus Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
The Pianist is boring as fuck. Like, that's easy. All right. Vertigo versus The Searchers. Are we in the same situation and you're just not saying anything, or?
I'm actually thinking, because like I feel like more people would say Searchers is a better movie, like technically and made better. But
I'd like to have a conversation with those people, but
bro, Searchers, incredible subtle storytelling.
I'm not saying it's not.
But
I'm saying it's not Vertigo.
Yeah, I'm Vertigo.
Lawrence of Arabia, which you refused to sit all the way through.
I bought it. Did I tell you that?
Versus It Happened One Night.
I bought it, and I was like, soon, one day soon. It happened one night. I really did not care for that movie too much.
Yeah,
I think I just don't like Clark Gable. I think that's what it is, honestly.
Nice. Lawrence of Arabia is incredibly long. It does have some very slow parts to it, but
Cinematography.
It is so good.
I like pictures and things I've seen of it.
All right, Rebel Without a Cause versus The African Queen.
Personally, I don't think James Dean's that good of an actor.
His
acting doesn't age well, I guess I should say.
I really enjoyed watching Rebel Without a Cause.
It's a good movie.
It did not blow me away like I expected it to.
It's a really good movie. I don't understand why people are talking about it 30, 40, 50 years later. Now, African Queen, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
You got two of the greatest actors and actresses of all time in this movie. It's incredible. And for like the genre, the little subgenre that is of adventure, boat, River of the Nile, fucking whatever that Disney movie was that came out last year. Bro, African Queen, surefire winner. North by Northwest.
Shane versus North by Northwest.
Fuck Shane.
Yeah, North by Northwest is very good.
And if your name's Shane, you should subscribe to the Topical.
All right, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest versus Singing in the Rain. Easy for me, but you love this decade of movies, so I figured you probably have something to say about it.
It's a really good movie. The storytelling, the con artist, the slice of life. Like, the thing that confuses me, this is off topic. 70s movies, most of those would be made by A24 nowadays. That is an A24 movie just made in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, like, it's funny that, like, you don't like a lot of 70s stuff. Personally, Singing in the Rain is probably the top 3 greatest musicals of all time.
I think Singing in the Rain might be the greatest musical of all time.
La La Land is just, like, my favorites. I'm not a musical kind of guy, but a lot of people don't even know what that movie's about. I thought that dude was actually singing in the rain, dog. That movie's about movies. So
yeah, right.
So because of most people don't even know what that movie's about, I'm going with Cuckoo's Nest.
Wait, what does people not knowing what this movie is about have to do with it being one of the greatest movies of all time? It doesn't matter what other people know about it. Do you not understand the concept?
How is it that great if most people don't even know about it? They know about one scene.
You think people... All right. I guarantee you, if we went on the street and pulled 100 people and said, have you ever heard of Singing in the Rain? And then said, have you ever heard of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? At least 10 more people are going to say they've heard of Singing in the Rain over Cuckoo's Nest.
That is true, probably.
Okay. And I understand what you're saying. It's just because the only clip that ever gets shown is Homeboy actually singing in the rain. But that has nothing to do with the movie. It doesn't, regardless of what other people know about it, that doesn't have anything to do with how great the movie is.
Neither's going to win. Network
versus Doctor Strangelove.
Speaking about one scene, Network, Strangelove.
Yeah. Agreed. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington versus Annie Hall.
Bro. James Stewart or a weird ass rapist or whatever the fuck he is. Petty pedo. Let me get James Stewart in his bitch.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is just a really
John
great
Blaze.
movie. Saving Private Ryan versus the Maltese Falcon.
Falcon.
Let me think about it.
Bro, this man's neighbors upstairs, they be moving their house 6 times a week, son. I'd be over here making YouTube videos and they fucking moving Chester's drawer. You know what I'm saying? Chester's drawer. Them goonies are wild. Ugh.
Nah, neither of them are going to make it to the final. Maltese is fine. Schindler's List versus It's a Wonderful Life.
I'll let you pick. I haven't seen Schindler's List.
Well, these are just really interesting because you have just like
the most wholesome movie
ultimate like wholesome feel good movie versus like one of the most depressing movies that ever has existed. I'll take Spielberg and Schindler's List. I'm surprised you didn't argue just because James Stewart, but
that's like my least favorite James Stewart movie. Not my least, but like out of his big 6 or 7.
Shawshank versus E.T.
Shawshank.
Not gonna argue
E.T.'s
that.
a pedophile.
Rocky versus My Fair Lady. Not ready to argue about Rocky just yet. Sierra Madre versus Philadelphia Story.
3 out of 5 of my favorite actors. Now, if they somehow put Joe Pesci and Schwarzenegger in one of these movies, it would be all of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Story.
Yeah, I agree. I really do.
Casablanca.
Yeah, still agree.
Ooh.
Vertigo versus Goodfellas.
Ooh. We pulling it out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. It doesn't feel good. The one I win doesn't feel good.
Lawrence of Arabia versus the African Queen.
I guess Lawrence has to win.
I agree. North by Northwest versus Singing in the Rain.
North by Northwest.
Yeah, not arguing that one. Doctor Strangelove versus Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I also agree with that. Strangelove is great, but...
That's when you watch one time and it's so memorable, like it stays in
Yeah.
your memory, but you never get to watch it again.
Yeah. Maltese Falcon, the OG MacGuffin versus Schindler's List, which has no MacGuffins.
The Falcon.
I feel torn, but whatever. If you are honestly going to try to argue with me objectively that Rocky is better than The Shawshank Redemption, you are out of your mind.
Well, they did both win Best Picture.
What does that mean? Crash won Best Picture.
Don't bring bad movies in this. We're talking about 2 good movies. I don't see Shawshank win any sequels.
Yeah, because they stopped when they were ahead.
Negatory. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. You can't bring it. Can't verbalize it. All right, that's tough.
This is exhausting.
I already know which one I'm thinking. Philadelphia Story versus Casablanca.
This is too exhausting. I'm not in a good emotional state right now.
Yeah.
I got 3 baby mamas and 4 children.
Both of these
I don't need
movies,
this kind of stress in my life.
both these movies are probably in my top 25 favorite movies of all time. Casablanca is probably in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I think Casablanca is the right answer.
They beat Bogart once. Let him get one. Let's even it up. Goodfellas.
Goodfellas versus Lawrence. Yeah, I don't really know how I objectively feel about that. But, yeah, whatever. North by Northwest versus Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
These videos are supposed to be fun. These videos are not supposed to emotionally, like, make me feel this way.
I'm going to let you call this one.
You are an asshole. Jesus fucking Christ. I like Lil Wayne's rock album better than you sometimes. You know that? And that's not a good album. And he's my favorite rapper. Because
You have just watched both of these much more recently than I have.
Hitchcock.
Well, I was really about to say, if you don't want to do that, just compare Frank Capra to Hitchcock. Who are you going to pick?
Frank Capra's up on.
All right, Shawshank versus Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I don't disagree with that at all. I think this is where, like, assuming someone has watched 45 minutes into this video, like, this is where I think people start to argue with us, really.
45 minutes. Think of the ad money. That could have been My Fair Lady, and I would have picked it because it beat Rocky.
Nice.
It festered up too much.
Goodfellas versus North by Northwest. Is this not... This isn't automatic for you? Wow, okay. I was just going to give it to you.
Neither of these movies going to make it to the final, so Scorsese. Let's go Scorsese.
Well...
I feel like that Asian guy. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Casablanca.
Oh, man, I'm really glad I didn't have to lose a rock, paper, scissors bout on that.
Well, no, shit.
Whoa, okay. Yeah.
I saw it first. I was like...
Casablanca over...
Bogey.
Yeah, mostly just because I really hate his hair in the Maltese Falcon. And there's then also about 1,000 other reasons.
I think that's bad artwork. I don't think...
I know.
I don't remember his hair being...
All right, the final. Citizen Kane versus Casablanca. I don't
look at me, bro.
Nobody, neither of us want to say anything first.
All right, let's start from the beginning.
Okay. Let's really dissect this. Let's do it right.
First act.
Mm-hmm.
What has a better first act?
To me, Casablanca.
How much do you really like the man Charles Kane in the first act?
Well, and if you're starting with the first act, you're including the kid stuff.
He's adopted. He's a teenager.
Yeah,
rebellious teenager.
So I mean, I feel like sympathy towards him because of his situation.
The first act doesn't fully put you in there.
Yeah, that the first act is not the most interesting part of Citizen Kane.
Okay, so Casablanca gets one up on Citizen Kane. Second act. That's where all the good juicy meat is at in Citizen Kane. So I got Citizen Kane.
I agree. Like, second act of Casablanca is great. Like, it's when she's in the picture now. He has some of his flashbacks. They're kind of just showing up. You get a lot of good... Like, the second act of Casablanca is still incredible. Yeah. I will give second act point to Kane.
Peter Lorre is in the second act of Casablanca. Third act. Two of the greatest endings of all time. Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Just the endings. Yeah. Let's make it interesting. Okay. Just the Paris. He was looking at you, kid. Yeah. Rosebud.
Yeah. So you get like bittersweet. They didn't work out, but it ties a nice bow to it. Like just great ending with hope for the end of a war, with hope for them both to move on. They chose the greater cause over their like personal love versus the most like thought-provoking, like the OG like thought-provoking. Like Christopher Nolan doesn't make movies if Citizen Kane didn't end the way that it did.
Greatest character arc of all time. I think the Rosebud thing is the only iconic thing. I can name 3 lines from the ending of Casablanca. Mm-hmm. Casablanca's third act. Technique's easy for me. Citizen Kane all day with the technique. Right. Cinematography.
I'm kind of 50-50 on that. Casablanca has some really good like really good depth to it in some of its shots.
Because you gotta make Rick's place big. So obviously, and like the little soundstage you're working on, you gotta make a whole town when they do go in the streets. Yeah.
But, you know, and Citizen Kane, again, I still am not really interested in giving credit for someone doing something the first time in a movie, but
Well, that was in technique.
I know.
Style and technique.
Yeah, but he used all of that, like cutting holes in floors and shit, to shoot the movie the way he did.
All right, we'll just call that a blank 50-50. It's a tie.
Yeah.
Acting.
I mean,
You have more to work with Citizen Kane, I feel like. But Casablanca, even though there's limited roles.
well, I was about to say, all right, Orson Welles in Citizen Kane is incredible.
I'm leaning Casablanca.
How many other people's performances do you remember in Citizen Kane?
Joseph Cotton's really good. Still recording, baby. Piglet's really good. But like I said, I'm leaning Citizen Kane. I think if you put Orson Welles' performance as Charles Kane against anyone in this film, it's Charles Kane. But overall, going Casablanca,
Yeah.
directing Kane, I think that's easy for me.
Yeah.
It's a layup.
Yeah.
So we're tied 3-3 right now. What else is there to? I think entertainment versus art is a big thing that makes movies great.
Yeah.
And Casablanca is in our both top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. It is more rewatchable, I think, than Kane. This is really hard, and I don't want to rock, paper, scissors for the winner, really.
I don't think Casablanca is a perfect movie. I think it's a 99% out of 100. I think Citizen Kane is a perfect movie. But what's more iconic? You hear more people talk about Casablanca now than Citizen Kane. Nobody randomly makes a Citizen Kane reference. Even if you haven't seen Casablanca, people still know Casablanca.
Yeah.
Like, even his makeup looks good. Like, the aging is seamless.
Ahead of its time, for sure.
You know, I wish I was like Rick. And I didn't have to make decisions I didn't think about.
Yeah.
You know?
I really want to say Casablanca, almost just to be different. I really do kind of think the correct answer is Kane. I don't want it to be, but I kind of think that it is. I mean, you just said it yourself. If you think this is a 99% and this is a 100%, which I do kind of disagree with, but...
Kane it is.
Yeah.
So, you can exit out of that. So, our top 4, according to Cinetopical, the top 4 greatest movies of all time is Citizen Kane, number 1. Number 2, Casablanca. Number 3 and 4, Jaws.
Wait, sorry. Alright, so...
Godfather, Casablanca.
Godfather, Casablanca, Kane,
Citizen Kane, and Maltese Falcon.
and Maltese Falcon.
Maltese Falcon had a fucking run, son. That shit had a fucking run.
Yeah, it was in a soft spot in the bracket.
That's very interesting. Tell us down below in the comment section, what picks did we just goof on? What did we're not? Tell us all that down in the comment section, and subscribe to Sound Topical. It helps out tremendously. Your comments help, and your likes and shares help. And also, donate some money. Strange Wayne gotta buy a strange car.